Attention passionate LAS, Vegas Raiders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Las Vegas Raiders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Las Vegas Raiders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and LAS, Vegas Raiders FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. I have something really intriguing to share with you today. It's about a potential move that could shake up the AFC West in a way we haven't seen in quite some time. And if you're a Raiders fan, you know how crucial every offseason decision is. It's a game of chess, a chessboard where every piece counts. And sometimes, a move that seems risky on paper can end up being the one that propels your team to the top. So, what's this big news? Well, it involves a player from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a veteran cornerback named Jamel. Now, Dean is no stranger to NFL fans. He's been around since 2019, drafted by the Bucs out of Auburn, and he's carved out a solid career for himself. But here's the catch. His contract has become a hot topic of discussion recently, mainly because of the hefty price tag attached to him over the next couple of seasons. You see, Jamel's deal carries a cap hit of over $15 million, which is a significant number for a team trying to manage its salary cap, especially when you consider the Buccaneers' current roster situation. Tampa Bay is in a bit of a tricky position. They're coming off a Super Bowl win, a glorious chapter in their history, but maintaining that level of success comes with its own set of financial challenges. The team is trying to stay competitive in the NFC South, a division that's been pretty unpredictable lately, but also trying to manage the cap effectively. And that's where Dean's situation becomes relevant, not just for Tampa Bay, but for the entire league, and especially for teams like the Las Vegas Raiders who are always looking to improve their secondary. Now, let's talk about this trade idea that's been floating around. It's coming from CBS Sports, from their analyst Cody Benjamin, who proposed that the Raiders should consider trading for Jamel. Why? Well, Benjamin argues that this move would make sense for both sides. For Tampa Bay, trading Dean could be a smart way to free up nearly $13 million in cap space in 2026, as well as around $85 million this year. That's a significant amount of money that could be redirected elsewhere, especially considering the Buccaneers' needs on defense and some of their younger players that are still developing. Now, for the Raiders, the fit is quite interesting. First, because the Raiders desperately need help in their secondary. They've been building that unit, but they're still lacking a true, consistent playmaker at cornerback. Adding a veteran like Dean, who has experience, has played in big games, and has a Super Bowl ring, could be a real boost. Secondly, the Raiders have more than $30 million in cap space this year, which gives them the flexibility to absorb Dean's contract without much trouble. That's a luxury not all teams have, and it allows Las Vegas to be aggressive in adding talent. But perhaps the most intriguing part of this potential trade is the connection between the Raiders' front office and Tampa Bay's. The Raiders' general manager, John Spidek, actually previously worked with the Buccaneers' player personnel department when Dean was drafted back in 2019. That kind of familiarity can make negotiations smoother and give the Raiders an edge in convincing Tampa Bay to move on from Dean. However, this isn't without its challenges. One of the biggest concerns, and it's an important one, is that Tampa Bay would be sacrificing its most experienced, starting-caliber cornerback. The secondary in Tampa is somewhat inexperienced, with young players like rookie Benjamin Morrison and Jacob Parrish trying to step up. Losing Dean, who's been a reliable presence, could put a lot of pressure on these rookies and less experienced players to perform at a high level right away. And remember, Dean isn't just a veteran. He's played a significant role in their defense, including during their Super Bowl run, and his experience is valuable, especially when trying to defend a division like the NFC South, where teams are constantly evolving and getting more competitive. So, why would Tampa Bay even consider such a move? Well, the short answer is flexibility and financial strategy. They might see this as their best chance to shed Dean's hefty contract before it becomes a real problem in 2025 or 2026. Dean is entering his prime, but he's also dealt with injuries in recent seasons, missing some starts in both 2023 and 2024. His injury history and the current trend of his playing time could be a red flag for the Buccaneers front office, especially when they're trying to build a sustainable, competitive roster. Trading him now, before another injury or regression, could be a strategic move to avoid locking in a big salary for a player whose performance might dip or whose injury risk could escalate. But let's not forget, such a trade isn't just about cap space and roster needs. It's also about the future. Tampa Bay could be looking at their draft options and young cornerbacks like Morrison and Parrish and trying to gauge how quickly they're developing. If these rookies show promise during training camp and in the preseason, the idea of moving on from Dean might become more palatable. The Buccaneers will also be weighing the impact on their immediate Super Bowl aspirations. If they believe that a young secondary can step up and that they can still contend without Dean, then a trade becomes a logical choice. On the other hand, for the Raiders, bringing in Dean could be a game changer. He's not just a stopgap. He's a proven player who can help shore up the secondary immediately. With the Raiders' defensive struggles in recent seasons, especially against the pass, adding a player like Dean could provide that veteran leadership and stability that the team desperately needs. Plus, the Raiders are in a bit of a rebuild mode, and adding a player with playoff experience, someone who's been through the grind of the NFL playoffs, could help accelerate their development and push them closer to that elusive playoff success. Now, let's consider the bigger picture. The AFC West is already one of the most competitive divisions in football. The Kansas City Chiefs, led by Patrick Mahomes, remain the team to beat, but teams like the Los Angeles Chargers and Denver Broncos are also making moves to improve. If the Raiders can bolster their secondary with a player like Dean, they could turn some heads in the division. It's all about adding that extra piece, that veteran savvy that can make a difference in close games, especially during the postseason. And don't forget, this isn't just about one trade. It's about a broader strategy. The Raiders have been emphasizing building a strong, versatile roster that can adapt to different situations. They're looking for players who can make an immediate impact but also fit into their long-term plans. Dean's experience, combined with the cap space they have, makes this an attractive option. If they manage to pull it off, it could set a new tone for how the Raiders approach the offseason. Aggressive, strategic, and always aiming for that ultimate goal, a Super Bowl victory. Of course, there are still hurdles. Tampa Bay might be hesitant to part ways with Dean, especially if they feel that their young cornerbacks aren't ready yet. Plus, Dean's injury history might give them pause, considering how important health is in the NFL. But if the Raiders push hard and present a compelling case, and if Tampa Bay sees value in clearing cap space and acquiring draft assets, this move could happen sooner rather than later. It's a fascinating storyline to watch unfold as we head into training camp and the preseason. Now, for us Raiders fans, it's exciting to think about the possibilities. Adding a player like Jamel Dean could be the missing piece in our secondary. Imagine him lining up alongside our existing corners, bringing that experience and playmaking ability. It could significantly improve our pass defense, which has been one of the weaker aspects of our team in recent years. And with the AFC West heating up, every game counts even more. We've seen how pivotal the secondary can be. Think back to crucial playoff games and how a single play can swing the momentum. Having a veteran like Dean, someone who's been through the battles, could be just what our defense needs to elevate its game. So fans, keep your eyes peeled. The NFL offseason is always full of surprises, and trades like this don't happen every day. If it comes to fruition, it'll be a major headline, not just for the Raiders, but for the league as a whole. It's a move that could define the next phase of the Raiders' journey toward another Super Bowl appearance, and it's definitely one to watch closely. Remember, the NFL is all about strategy, timing, and seizing the right opportunity, and this potential trade could be exactly that for Las Vegas. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Las Vegas Raiders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Raiders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential move? Do you think trading for Jamel Dean makes sense for our team's future? Are you confident in our young corners stepping up, or do we need that veteran presence immediately? Drop your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Your input is incredibly valuable, not just for us here, but for the entire Raiders community. We love hearing your perspectives, and it's always great to see how passionate you all are about our team's future. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and breaking news. So make sure to stay tuned, because the Raiders' offseason is just heating up, and there's a lot more to come. Thanks for watching, and as always, let's go Raiders!